You know what? As we speak, I can feel my mullet growing. I can feel it right now, and you'll understand why in a minute. And let me just say, I have a lot of stuff today, a lot of exciting news to roll out. So this is the. I mean, if you were going to pick one day, if there was one episode of the Classic Guitar Rock Daily Update that you would bury in a time capsule to be unearthed 1,000 years in the future by alien reptilians, this is the one. I'm just saying. So first, big announcement. Beginning next week, this news program, this news magazine will be airing on an awesome online radio station called The Well. Now, if you have not checked out The Well, I mean, I listen to a lot of online radio stations, and the music's, I mean, most of them have great music. This is my favorite online station. It's The Well, really easy to find, thewellclassicrock.com. Thewellclassicrock.com. Check it out. Great playlist. So you'll hear the hits, you'll hear the classic rock songs you're used to hearing, but you'll hear stuff you don't normally hear on classic rock station. It's a great mix, and we're excited that this daily update will air every day at 7 p.m. Pacific time on The Well Classic Guitar Rock. Check it out. We're super excited about that. So check out The Well. And if you missed the daily update here on X or Twitter or Facebook, you can hear it on The Well. Plus, you hear their great classic rock lineup. What's not to like? Another little housekeeping announcement. We finally published the podcast episode about Cheap Trick. There were problems with the audio, and guys, you'll notice I've had a few people email me already. I get it. There's a mistake in there where some music starts playing, right? The problem is, shame on me, I didn't save my project files. So all I had was the final MP3, and I didn't realize it had this error in it. And I can't really edit it out because I can't go back to the regular file. That's why you always save your project files. I didn't. So you'll get in there, and then all of a sudden some music starts playing for about 20 seconds, and then it goes away. But yeah, I'm aware of that. And I was like, oh, dang, because I heard it. And I was like, what can I do? So I look at it this way. It'll be like a collector's item in the future because it has that mistake in it. But it's a great episode. I'm a huge Cheap Trick fan. And I had some audio issues with it. I was debating on putting it up at all, but I thought, no, it must go forth. And so it's there. You'll hear it, warts and all, with the error on there. You'll hear it. But it's a great episode. So I hope you'll check it out. That's the Classic Guitar Rock podcast. You can hear it where you hear all fine podcasts. Now, here is why my mullet is growing. It's tingling back there because there is going to be so much mulletry and acid wash jeans. I got to be there. Okay. Def Leppard and Journey are doing another big stadium tour. You know, when they did this back in, I think it was 2018, 2019, it was like one of the biggest tours of the year. These bands from the 80s, 70s, and 80s are huge draws, outdrawing most of the new bands. And you know why? Because their music doesn't suck, right? Because music of the 70s and 80s was fun. It was good music compared to most of the drivel we get now, which is poopy. It's simple as that. But Def Leppard and Journey, that's not all. Check out this lineup. Opening for them, it depends on what city you see them in. You'll either see them with the Steve Miller Band opening. I've seen the Steve Miller Band live. Love the Steve Miller Band. Or it could be Heart. Or it could be Cheap Trick. Can you imagine Def Leppard and Journey, and then you're going to see one of those other great classic rock bands opening for it. Sign me up. That's going to be one of the great tours of 2024. It kicks off in July 6th in St. Louis, and it's not very long. It starts in July. It ends. Oh, no. Let me see. Oh, yeah, it is short. 23 dates. Starts on July 6th, concludes September 8th. So get your tickets while you can. It's going to be a great show. Quote, this is from Journey. We are thrilled to be back on the road in 2024 with so many good friends as part of this tour. No matter which city you come to, this will be an amazing night of music. And I concur. Def Leppard still brings it live. They still sound great. Journey sounds great live. I know. It's not Journey if Steve Perry's not there. Steve Perry ain't there. They sound awesome. Arnell does a great job. Don't be a poopy pants, okay? Go see a great show. That's all I'm going to say about that. Sammy Hagar, this is from Ultimate Classic Rock. Sammy Hagar has detailed how he inspired Tommy Shaw to quit Styx. So back in 1983, Sammy Hagar has always been huge in Texas. For whatever reason, very popular in Texas. He was playing the Texas Jam way back in the 70s, and he's almost like the adopted son of Texas, right? But anyways, he's playing the Texas Jam back in 1983. And this is like this would have been the Three Lock Box era, right? Great album. And I saw that tour in Norman, Oklahoma, in fact, where he's got the Trans Am up on the stage, and it's kind of like this graffiti on the, it's like an urban kind of background, and he's got the cars on the stage. And it was a rock and roll extravaganza. And that was all part of this Texas Jam. And Styx, I don't know if Styx was headlining, but they were higher up the bill than Sammy. So it sounds like Sammy played right before Styx, and right before Sammy was Terrible Ted. Okay, so he plays. So Sammy goes out and does his typical show. It's shreddy. They're jumping around. It's a rock and roll show. Then he brings Ted Nugent out, and they play like Led Zeppelin tunes together. And the crowd just, it's a rock and roll extravaganza. It's a rock and roll party in the streets. And then Dennis DeYoung comes out and says, "Hey, kids, let me introduce you to Mr. Roboto." And a little robot dude walks out, and it was a cheese fest, right? It's no secret that Kilroy Was Here broke up Styx. And actually, Dennis DeYoung broke up Styx because he was such a goober. Okay, he wanted to do vaudeville stuff and goofy stuff, and James and Tommy just wanted to rock. They wanted to be in a rock band, not Mr. Roboto. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Can you blame him? So anyways, Styx comes on after Sammy Hagar just brought the house down with him and Ted Nugent, and then you get Mr. Roboto. Okay. That's not to say Styx is an awesome band, but Kilroy Was Here was a big turd. Okay. And it just went downhill from there. According to this article, unbeknownst to Hagar at the time, Kilroy Was Here had already driven a wedge between the members of Styx. Shaw was not a fan of the rock opera and instead wanted to focus on hard-hitting tunes. Then he watched as Hagar delivered a virtuoso rock god performance during night one of the Texas Jam. Okay, so they just went out, tore the roof off the place. This is from Sammy. Quote, "I came back with Ted Nugent, played Whole Lotta Love, and he jumped off a double stack of Marshalls. I'm talking about damn near 30 feet, end quote. I lit a guitar on fire, smashed it. We had blow-up amplifiers, fake ones, threw my guitar into the amplifier. It blew up. And according to Hagar, his ferocious performance dwarfed Styx's, whose futuristic rock opera, which he claimed included Dennis DeYoung saying, "Hi, kids, I want to introduce you to Mr. Roboto," seemed much tamer and lamer by comparison. Now, after that show, and this was like 2 or 3 night show. So after that show, quote, Tommy comes into my dressing room and said, "Dude, I just want to tell you, you just did me the biggest favor in the world," Hagar recalls. He said, "I just quit the band. This is my last show with this band. I just want to do what you do." Okay. Tommy Shaw wanted to rock. Okay. So Tommy Shaw, the 83, remember, he went out on his own. In fact, had a solo album, Girls with Guns, which was actually a pretty good album. He got some MTV play. In fact, Tommy Shaw came through the little town in Lawton, Oklahoma, where I was in high school at the time, and played. And I was front row. General admission, baby. I was front row at the Great Plains Auditorium, or Great Plains Coliseum in Lawton, Oklahoma, for Tommy Shaw. And his solo tour was awesome. I mean, he did all the Styx stuff. He only had a few solo songs. The rest was Styx, and his band rocked, and it was awesome. And then, of course, it was only a few years later that Damn Yankees with Sid, we mentioned Terrible Ted, they got together. So apparently Sammy inspired Tommy to make that break from Styx. And of course, now Styx is back together without Dennis. And I know the same people that cry that Steve Perry isn't in Journey, they cry that Dennis DeYoung isn't in Styx. Styx is a better band without Dennis. Sorry. Okay, Dennis was great, wrote some great tunes, very talented. But if you're a rock and roll fan, it's a way better band now without Dennis. Legendary rockers Aerosmith have joined Spotify's Billions Club. Billions Club. So if you have a song that plays 1 billion times, you're in the Billions Club. Their classic song, Dream On, joins a list of about 500 total. There are about 500 songs total that have hit the billion mark. They include Nothing Else Matters by Metallica, Eye of the Tiger by Survivor, Dancing Queen by ABBA, Whitney Houston's I Want to Dance with Somebody. So those are some of this billion spins. So 1 billion plays on Spotify. The band could have made upwards of $50 from that. So good for them. That's exciting. Sebastian Bach. He has a new song out. He's released a defiant new single titled, What Do I Got to Lose? Now, Sebastian Bach is one of these guys, talented guy. He was a good singer in his day. You know, he had 2 good albums, so he had his 15 minutes. He refuses to go away. He left Skid Row, or got canned from Skid Row, but I think he's kind of like KK Downing. He keeps wanting to come back, and the band says, "We don't want you, dude. You shouldn't have left." I don't know if he left or if he got canned, whatever. He's not in Skid Row, but he's got a new song out called What Do I Got to Lose? So if you want to, you can go check that out. Let me talk about an album. Again, this is one of these albums that I think should be in your library. It's for my friends in Oklahoma. This should be in your classic rock library, just because who's in the band, and it's a good album. I mean, it's a good album. It's a piece of history, right? This wasn't a big hit by any means, but this is an album you should have. Jeff Beck, Tim Bogert, and Carmine. I think Carmine pronounces it a piece, but his brother Vinny pronounces it Appice. Or maybe the other way around. They pronounce it differently. They're brothers, and it's kind of confusing me. But this is Beck, Bogart, Appice, or a piece, whatever you call them. It's a good album. It's not, it's not a pop album, right? I mean, this is an album that guitar players dig, drummers dig, right? Because it's The players are all masters of their craft. You're not going to hear catchy pop ditties, right? If that's what you're looking for, this isn't the album, but this is an album that you should have. Beck, Bogert, Appice, or a piece, however you want to choose it. And I found this, sometimes you find people don't know what they got or whatever. If you go to an actual record store where they kind of know what they got, this probably would have been pretty expensive. I found this at like a Goodwill for $1. Of course I'm going to buy this, and it's in good shape. So this is an album that if you come across this, you should own it. Beck, Bogert, Appice, or a piece. Guys, remember, beginning next week, you'll be able to hear us on The Well, classicrock.com, a great online radio station. Hope you'll check us out there, and I hope you'll check out The Well and listen to them. Thanks so much for all your support. We'll see you tomorrow for another update. Live long and prosper.